Alright everyone, Dark Rain here, back with another guide. Today we're going to be covering both the one-handed fire staffs today. I think these are going to be your best options for solo content, keeping it relatively light. I would like to cover the Flame Walker in a different video. This weapon's very, very good, but it's a little more expensive and will be a little bit differently played than the two that we have here, which is going to be the basic Master's Fire Staff and the Wildfire. Both really good options, played a little bit differently, and we're going to get into that right now. Starting off, we're going to cover our weapons abilities first. In the queue, we have Firebolt. This is going to be a direct damage dealer. You're going to be casting this, just standing there, boom, 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 stacks up a good dot, does a ton of damage, especially if you have a book, and this passive taken down here, the Aggressive Caster. Next, we have the Burning Field. This is going to be an AoE put on the ground. If you stand in it, does a bunch of damage, very, very good. Does a big initial damage, and then does like a dot if you're standing in it, very good. Not super useful for these builds because we're not going to have people stationary. For our final, Searing Flame, a really great option. It's a combo ability, so we cast this 3 times, and on the 4th time we get a very strong ability. This is going to be a skill shot, so it's a little harder to use, and we're not going to get as much power just standing there and beaming our opponent here. Let me show you guys here. Hit 2, 3. After that 3rd one, you guys see we get the Furious Flame here, which does a big damage, big dot, very, very good. But I'm typically running Firebolt here with Aggressive Caster. If you guys want to run Searing Flame, you can run something different down here. You can run the Furious or the Burn. Both are really good. Burn a little bit less useful because the Searing Flame is going to be used a little bit more kitey for sure than more of a Brawl Firebolt here. Next, we're moving into the W's on the weapon. All of these W's are really good. I would say you don't see Raging Flare used a lot, but everything else is super good. Starting off, we have Flame Blast. This is really good because of that kind of final wording there. If the main target is yourself or an ally, it increases their movement speed by 60%. It's very, very good. Also is a big damage dealer. Does a ton of damage. If put on an enemy, and then when put on yourself, increases your move speed there. Next, we have Flame Wall. Super good against melee comps. I'm going to run a bunch of videos of this. Against one-shot comps, this is super useful to have. It does good damage, has good utility of blocking off, especially in corrupted dungeons or hellgates. When you're able to put down wall of flames and people aren't able to get around it, you're able to cast Pyroblast and things like that. It works really good. Next, we're moving into the Fire Wave. Fire Wave, very, very good. A really good interrupt because of the knockback. Does a ton of damage, one of the highest damage W's that we have, and works a lot better if they have the dot on them, as you guys can see in that second wording there. It does 245 additional, 605 as a dot with that knockback. Very, very good. And last but definitely not least, Fire Artillery. This is going to be the main one that I'm running, main one I think you all should be running, and it's going to be our highest damage ability. This is going to shoot 3 different burning fields onto the ground. It's going to build up a dot, which is going to deal a ton of damage here. As you guys can see, doing 160 DPS just off my Fire Artillery. Works very good, has a super long range, and is one of our best options in the W slot. Overall, I would suggest running Fire Artillery, Wall of Flames, or Flame Blast. Flame Blast is going to be used to catch. Wall of Flames is going to be used to, like I said, cut off those choke points or the ability for people to get to you, like dual swords, battle axes, things like that. Works very good. And Fire Artillery, you guys are going to see me running this in 2v2 Hellgates a lot. Works very good. Finally, we kind of covered these down here. We should always be Aggressive Caster, Firebolt, and if we're running Searing Flame, I like to run Furious. Pretty simple. Moving into everything else we got going on. This is a little bit more of a budget set, and it's going to be a lot more of a brawl set, I would say. I'm going to be playing this with Firebolt, Cleric Robes, and the Hunter Hood. The boots, really important here that we're running Guardian boots, so we have the option to have Giant on the boots. We're mainly going to be running Rejuvenating Sprint, but if we run into someone who we know is going to be a strict brawler, Giant is a great option there. I'm using the Toma spells in the offhand just for that increased cast time on the Q, proccing my Aggressive Caster more, getting a ton off. I don't like to run the concentration on any of my items because I do start to run into mana issues if I'm casting that much, and I want my Pyroblast and Flame Artillery to be dealing a good amount of damage here. using Hunterhood just to have more brawl power. We're kind of going to be a turret when we're playing Fire Staff. We're going to pick a spot, we're going to cast our Fire Bolts, and we're going to want to have as much in between us dying as possible. Getting into our potions and our food, Gigantifies are going to be your best option always. Resistances are here if you guys like them, don't like Gigantifies, but I would always suggest running Gigantifies, just the best. They're going to help you stand there, cast, take less damage, going to be really strong for solo content. For group content or when you're being healed, resistances are going to be a little bit better. For food, we're going to be going for beef stew over the omelet. The omelet can be good with Firebolt, but we get a ton of our damage from both our E and our W, which gain more benefit from the beef stew than the omelet. Now, we got a little extra chest here. Mage robes for brawling with the purging shield on them. Super awesome. Works really good. We get a little bit extra damage here because the mage robes are one of the higher damage cloth chest piece, just 5%. Still a really good option. Now, for my capes, we have two main options here, and that's going to be the Smuggler's Cape and the Briselian Cape. Both are really useful. Briselian Cape giving us a shield, making us immune to purges, making our Hunterhood a lot stronger there. And then the Smuggler's Cape, just to give us more potion use, is a very safe option there. Now, the main difference between the Wildfire and the normal fire, or really the only difference, is going to be my Pyroblast versus the Magmasphere, or the Big Meatball. Pyroblast is going to be more consistent, but the Magmasphere is going to hit a hell of a lot harder if you guys can hit it on your targets. It's going to be a skill shot, while Pyroblast is going to be targeted. Pyroblast is easily reflectable, and that is a worry to have it equipped, but you get a knockback as well, very strong, and you can instant cast it too. You can just E, move, and it'll instantly shoot it off for low damage. Now, the Meatball, super good, the Magmasphere. It's going to do 12% of players' max health is true damage and cannot be reflected, as well as dealing 926 magic damage. This staff's a little bit higher IP than my normal fire staff, so don't take these numbers too true to heart, but this is definitely going to deal more damage if you can hit it. It's going to be a skill shot, it's going to roll and hit. So while the fire staff normal Pyroblast is going to be reflectable, this one's going to be dodgeable. Of course, it's up to skill of both players if they're being hit or dodged, but that's going to cover everything we got here. Fire Staff is a really strong solo weapon. I have a little video on Corrupteds and making a lot of money there, and I use Wildfire a lot. So I'm going to be showing more of this in a group setting. We're going to be doing some fight analysis, as well as just letting a few fights roll that I think are really important to see how I'm using all my abilities together. Otherwise, I'll see you guys there. Alright, moving right into it. We're in a 2v2 Hellgate. We got Soul Sender on the heels, the goat over here. But my build's going to look a little different for the Hellgates. I'm running this Scholar Cowl just because I do end up having some energy issues against healer DPS. But we're playing against dual daggers longbow right here. Just going to hit this guy with the flame artillery. And this really shows the power of what this ability can do because of the dot. I hit him with it, I run. He does end up getting hit by the meatball too, and this Hellgate's pretty much over before it could even start right there. With the long range of the flame artillery, the dude got absolutely juiced and it was just over. You guys can see I'm using flame artillery once again. With just that long range, I can stay super safe and just deal out a ton of damage. Alright, in this next clip here, I'm going to be hitting a long range flame artillery right here, hitting with the one tick and moving. I'm only hitting him with one tick because I know he's going to be out of the range of the second, and I want to stay on this guy, but just from that one tick, he ends up dying to some mobs over here. And this is just showing that kind of overwhelming range that it has, and that dot does a ton of damage, has a ton of power. Alright, in this clip we're just going to be looking at just the raw damage output that a fire staff can do. It is so crazy when you're able to hit all your abilities. I'm using Stalker Shoes for the added damage here. I think I catch them both, but the dagger guy ends up making it through. I'm a little worried here just from the bolt casters and dual dagger, but just sitting there like a turret, and he doesn't even know what hit him. It's too late. The flame artillery seals the deal, and once again the Hellgate is over before it even starts, just from pure damage. when I'm playing the meatball, I want to make sure I'm hitting as many targets as I can, and I want to make sure that I'm trying to roll it through people doing my trigonometry. But also, if a melee DPS is just on top of you, it's a safe bet to throw it. They'll usually get hit by it. And here, throwing it once again into the invis. I don't manage to hit it because of that dash, but that's what I'm going for there. Alright everyone, already a longer video than usual. I like to try to keep these about 10 minutes, get you guys what you need as quick as possible. But I have plenty of videos, plenty of shorts on playing the solo. Both of these builds are very strong. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'm happy to answer them. If you guys want to join the guild, we're on Americas, doing good. We're always playing together. We got a couple guys online. But thank you guys for watching so much. Hope you enjoy. Hope you're able to hit some fat pyroblast on some people or roll many men with the meatball. Good luck, everyone, and peace out, fellas.